most powerful car I've driven by about 100 horsepower. So yeah.
Oh right, okay.
So
This has got a little bit more, but we don't need to use it all today. The weather seems to be brightening up, at least for us. So we just make sure that's working for you. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
We can just reverse. If you just shift it all the way across, you'll feel a little notch. There we go.
Sure.
Yeah. Just a little bit of reverse when we just bring up the clutch very slowly, and you'll feel that bite.
Yep.
That's it. And that's enough. Stop. 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 That's it. And into first for me. And we'll just wait for this MX-5.
Okay.
There we go. We'll let
Underway?
him go. Yep, that's fine. On we are.
Tracking out from underneath there.
It's okay.
Straight on? Straight on?
Yes, please. Straight onto the track for me. Lovely. Well done. Nice. In second, please. And into third. Lovely. You can put your left leg on the dead pedal now. We don't need any more gears. Keep it nice and tight to this apex here on the right. That's it. And slowly moving out. That's a lovely line. See this line in the middle of the track here?
Yep.
Want to keep yourself over the top of that, and that gives you a nice line.
Okay.
Missing this apex entirely, and over the top of this apex, keeping nice and tight. Brushing the side of this apex here. And we want to keep a bit more left, touch of brakes, and off the brakes coming in, using the overflow to our left. You can use this overflow and that will minimise understeer. Okay. Going for the orange cone there, on the brakes, and off the brakes now, turning in nice and tight. That's it. Try not to rock the steering wheel, just bring a nice move. Yep, that's absolutely fine. And turning in nice and tight there, That's it. That's it, lovely line, want to keep it there. You might feel a bit of feedback from the standing water.
Yep.
Over the top of this apex for me. Yep, that's it. Brushing this left apex. And over the top of this next left. So on the brakes now, on the brakes, off the brakes and turning in. Using the overflow, we can use the overflow there. Over the top of the chicane. Okay, orange cone coming up there. On the brakes, off the brakes now and turning in, keeping nice and tight. That's it. Ignore him, we'll keep going round. On the brakes now, and off the brakes, turning in. Turning in, nice and tight there. Brushing the left apex over the top of the next apex. There's a nice little straightaway. We can brake now, and off the brakes and turning in, using the overflow and over the chicane there. Just want to be a bit more left when we come round there, but we'll do that again. On the brakes, off the brakes now and turning in. Keep into the left. And keeping to the right there, apex, slowly, gently moving out to the left. That's it, great line, hold that line. You're missing this apex here and turning in over the top of this apex. That's okay, keeping nice and tight on the left, bit more left. That's it. And on the brakes, off the brakes now and turning. Remember using the overflow. Probably a little bit too fast into that corner there, I would say. On the brakes, off the brakes and turning in. We've got a slow vehicle in front of us, so on the brakes, that's it, reducing the speed. We want to keep about 3 car lengths behind this car. On the brakes, just a little bit slower, matching their speed. That's great, you can pop it in second for me, just so it's not jumping around trying to find revs. That's okay. That's it. And so when you come in over the top of this apex here,
Yep.
you want to brake now and keeping left as you're coming round, and then off the brakes and then turning in and then using the most of this overflow here. That's it, lovely. Over the top of the chicane, nice, into third for me please. That's it. Really nice. On the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, off the brakes, turning in, and we're going to come into the lane here on the right, the far right. That's it. Don't worry about the intake. Slow the speed, slow the speed, slow the speed, slow the speed. That's it. And turning in back onto the track. Thank you very much. That's it. Keeping nice and tight. There we go. That's it. You see this apex over the top. And off the accelerator, don't need any more speed. We'll use these corners to scrub the speed. Okay, keeping left, keeping left, keeping left, and now turning right, using that overflow and feather that throttle back in. Lovely. That was lovely. That was really well done.
Thank you.
Really well done. You okay?
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Remember, keeping 3 car lengths here. We'll just let they're going to let us go. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Okay, and keeping nice and close to the right there on this apex. That's it. Going out to the left. Really nice. That's it. Missing this apex entirely. Over the top of this apex. Perfect, perfect. Brushing the edge of this apex here. Turning in. Keeping to the left. Now a little bit of brake, and off the brakes and turning in, using the overflow. That kills the understeer. That was quite tight there. That will slow down just a little bit. We want to be a bit smoother on that corner. On the orange cone, on the brakes, on the brakes. Okay, off the brakes now and turning in. And on the brakes, on the brakes. Turning in. That's it. A little bit more to the left. That's it. Really nicely done. Missing that apex. Over the top of this apex for me. That's it. And over the top of this. Remember, keeping left. Onto the brakes. Onto the brakes. Off the brakes now. And turning in. Using the overflow. Using the overflow. Really nice. Did that feel a bit smoother?
Yeah.
The orange cone, on the brakes, off the brakes and turning in. Keeping to the left, keeping to the left. That's it, on the brakes, and then off the brakes now, turning in. Probably a bit wide there. That's okay. We're keeping a nice line now. That's okay. Yep. Missing this apex entirely. Coming over the top of this apex here and brushing the left apex. Remember, coming over the top of this left apex, keeping left, on the brakes, off the brakes now and turning in. That's it. Onto the overflow, over the top of the chicane. On the brakes, off the brakes now, turning in. Nicely done. Keeping to the left. Feeling good?
Oh yeah.
Keeping nice and tight on the right there. Nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight. That's it. This is a good line. Hold this line here. Missing this apex entirely and coming over the top of this right hand apex. Brushing this left apex and over the top of this next left apex. Keeping left, on the brakes, off the brakes now and turning in using the overflow. Just probably a little bit too much speed, just want a bit more braking power there. On the brakes, that's it, turning in. Keeping to the left, really nice. Firm brakes, that's it, and turning in. Hold this line here, and that speed, that's really good. Turning in over the top of this apex here. over the top of this next left apex. Very nice. On the brakes, firm brakes, firm brakes, firm brakes, off the brakes and turning in, using the overflow. Okay, and coming into the pits on your left, please. Reduce speed. Superb. Thank you for the indicator.
Sorry.
No.
Absolute instinct now.
Very polite driver, I love it. Okay, and we'll reduce speed, come in almost to a stop. We'll want to come into first gear now, into first gear, and all the way around very slowly, just watching for other pedestrians. Just wait for, just very slowly now. We're going to take, we can park. Okay, we can pop it into neutral now. That's it. I'm just going to